missed that bus, man. What's wrong with you, man? I got the disclaimer on right now, so got to show the disclaimer. Got to show the disclaimer.
So you can run the disclaimer without audio?
Oh no, they hear you.
Oh, okay, I thought so. You know me, Mr. Behind the Scenes.
Told you I thought I hit the mute button one day, and Michael Black was like, "I can hear you." Hold up, live, unable to reestablish connection.
Yeah, I thought so. You know me, Mr. Behind the Scenes. Do you have a live connection on your NT8? Because mine went out,
Oh,
but I'm still
mine
getting
has gone out
quotes.
too. What's going on? Yours went out
So
too?
it is. Yes. Okay. I feel better now. It's not just me. I got orange dots. I'm.
I just connected back.
Do you have a live connection on your NT8? Because mine went out, but I'm still getting quotes.
Out too. What's going on? Yours went out
So
too? Are you connected back?
Yes.
Okay. I'm gonna leave the disclaimer on till my charts finish loading up. I ain't gonna deal with this crap today from Ninja Trader.
That happened a couple of times yesterday to me.
Yeah, I noticed it started doing that yesterday. Yesterday, it did to me one time yesterday, a couple times yesterday morning, but it wasn't out long enough to affect anything.
Nice outside day. Reestablishing the push to the downside today. Pending home sales are out at 10 o'clock this morning.
Yeah, while these charts are loading up, let's go through the reports. And your reports are up to date now. Am I not correct?
Hey man, takes a few times, but yes, I'm up to date.
Yeah, we got pending home sales coming out at 10 o'clock, so I probably will not pull anything before 10 o'clock. And we are on the outside day to the downside on the daily E-mini. We got NASDAQ, NASDAQ looks the same way. And definitely so does the Dow futures. Bond futures are down to 112.28. Don't forget to mute your volume, man.
Yes, sir.
Get that delayed effect sound. Get that delayed effect sound. Good morning, Salty. How's everybody doing today?
Good morning, Salty.
Okay, let me notice in the description box under this video right here as we're filming. Under the description box, I put a permanent link to the range bars, the range marker comes with the range bars. I put a permanent link to the fair value gap, which is multi-time frame fair value gap. Probably the best I've seen as far as looking at multi-time frame fair value gap. So if you could set a fair value gap on a 10-minute chart, on a 12 range chart if you want. You can set that time frame to anything you want, right? Notice on this 12R right here, there's a fair value gap from 67.5 down to 47 and a half. 20-point fair value gap. I'm not. The point is, you can put, and this is on a 5-minute. That's a 5-minute fair value gap. So, and what else did I put on there? I think I put the fair value gap, the range bars, and there's something else on there. Oh, the template for my TDU. So if you guys, want to download any of that stuff, that is on a permanent link for send space under the film's description and so forth. Yep. We got Mr. Chester Bean in the room this morning. We got
Good
Mr.
morning,
Chester
Mr. Bean.
We got Chester Bean in the room this morning. So, yeah, man. Let me know when my man Morgan gets in the room.
Chester, Mr. Bean, just for double authentication. Yes, I got your message. Acknowledged. Thank you for trying. All right, folks. Nothing but pressure to the downside today. Minus 26,000 roughly in the cum. Why is it 194 in my analyzer?
Fork Pilot, morning from Spain. Wow, long way from home, man. Long way from home. Well, that's a long way from me. You're home.
Now it sounds about right.
Okay, just some of you new guys that are in the room, just to give you a heads up of what we're running here. We're running TDU, Trade Devil's FootPrint. We're doing it live. I just decided to do a live room because I wanted to see some. There's nobody really online, and I'm not going to keep saying that. There are a couple of people online that are doing live trading, but I think they're on Discord. You have to pay to get into their room. But just to shoot the breeze and shoot ideas back and forth. Shoot ideas back and forth to see what kind of ideas we come up with FootPrint, because a lot of people are confused when they look at all these numbers on FootPrint. It can be confusing, especially if you go straight into Trade Devil's FootPrint and you enable all of those signals. All of those signals can be overwhelming. Let's take a brief look at all of these signals that Trade Devil has on their FootPrint. When you go into FootPrint, and this is where the work starts. When you go into FootPrint, do not enable all of these signals. Do not enable all of these signals at one time. Enable the signals one at a time, and that way it will give you a good idea of which signals you want to use. Okay? That's just a heads up to get a grip on all of this information that's coming at you. And you can always go back and watch some of our earlier videos, because on our earlier videos, and we're just getting the hang of this live streaming, so y'all got to bear with us because this is basically new to us, and I should be getting in a trade here, but this is fairly new to a lot of people, and a lot of people do not. I'm gonna wait till 10 o'clock though. A lot of people do not understand what they're getting. So hopefully we're here to help you understand. If you guys have any questions, don't hesitate to ask. There's no question that's too stupid. There's no stupid question. There's no such thing as a stupid question. So, yeah, we're looking at a cum of minus 32,000. I am only looking for short trades today. I am only looking for short trades today. We got a report coming out at 10 o'clock. You guys get yourself a, I should have posted this indicator into, under the description also. This is basically a report. And you just load it as an indicator on your chart and just make everything else transparent, the bars and everything. And then notice I got it loading, running on a E-mini 15-minute chart. The bars don't matter. Just make all that stuff transparent because all you want to see is the news reports anyway. So I should have loaded that up. I don't know what I was thinking about. I will do that later on. I will do that later on this evening. It will be available tomorrow, starting tomorrow's trans video thing. So anyway, yeah, we're looking at minus 32,000 now. We're down 75 on the futures. We're down 581 on the Dow futures, and we're down 339 on the NASDAQ futures. That's a lot. That's a lot. On the cash, we're down 543. On the NASDAQ cash, we're down 322.
One-way rate. Gentlemen, I always announce it when I see it. Yes, we have come down to Bollinger Bands I am talking about. So can we get that 12's on there? We run down to the bands and started closing, as of approximately 9:18 or so. As you've noticed, we've made a new low. And in fact, we've made a new low close and still can't get down into these bands. Today is not the day for counters, but this is that run, rotation, retest the lows, not able, and it's showing a lot of weakness at this point. If anything, we may go sideways. I'm waiting for pullbacks. It doesn't mean your trend's going to change, but it does say that you're either going to be exhausted here and bouncing back the other way, not very far, but it will take its time for a minute till it regains its footing. At 32K on the cumulative, I'm not going to necessarily be looking for any counter trades. It has to be absolutely sweet for me with a lot of order flow numbers on top of it. So again, we're introducing footprint order flow ideas here on the channel. At the same time, we're using some very old, trusty, dusty, rusty indicators to show that they are the same almost as footprint. There's just as much weighting when it comes to regular indicators that you may use. So footprint is another indicator to lay on top of those things that you have interest in. Now, before I get too far in the day, I do have my first retraction of our transmission, and really didn't talk to my partner very much about this, but yesterday I had a situation that I was trying to explain something that I thought was extremely simple. And by the time I finished, I didn't quite understand what I said as well. Okay, so let me just first apologize and tell you that I do recognize that and my mother would turn over in her grave, but I would like to apologize for it confusing you at worst, but just explaining things so badly at best. So, all being said, I do want to at least give you an insight on how my research got started, which is a very, very simple footprint pattern. Understand, I'm using range-bound charts, so it helps me come up with these patterns a lot easier. But I think we've got it highlighted where it's a 4-bar pattern, 2 bars up, 2 bars down. You're paying attention to the POC on the first bar that's up and the last bar that's down. If that POC,
hold up, man. Let me circle that POC in case people don't understand that POC. Let me get my new toy out.
Listen, Blue Horseshoe loves Blue Star Airlines.
Okay,
Got
you're
it?
talking about
Got
this
it.
PLC right here on the first up
Marty.
bar.
Yes.
Go ahead.
And I'm talking about the last bar of the 2 down POC. What you're going to notice, and this is a very rare occurrence, but the POC on the last bar is lower than the POC on the first up bar. That's as simple as I can make this. I just want to explain to you that this is an anomaly and it doesn't happen very often, but it is more so the beginning of some research that you can put a lot of rules and regulations on it, because it's that first POC that's the most important, and how it gets broken is also important. So don't look at it as far as just 2 POCs down. Look at what happens on the third POC if the second POC doesn't drop it. Continue to research past that. I think you'll find some remarkable things as far as just directional, temporary direction.
This is a POC wave that Valtos touts about also, right?
It is, well, that's what started this whole thing, was the POC wave. While I was researching that, I realized that the anomaly of having 2 bars up and 2 bars down and a lower POC when it ended, or higher if you're going long. I just noticed that that didn't happen very often, and a lot of times it followed by much more action to that direction. So that was what I was trying to say yesterday that took about 10,000 words and no real understanding. And hopefully you got something from it here. Again, this is the beginning of a research project as opposed to the end of it. Put your filters on it, put your rules on it, stretch it out as far as you'd like to. But there's a lot down that rabbit hole that I was probably trying to explain that had no relevance to just this simple pattern. Hope it's something that can help you.
Yes, Salty, I am only taking short trades. I am definitely only short. Only short today. Only short today. You can see that Cume. That Cume is minus 31,000 now. We are rocking and rolling to the downside. I'm not looking, like Magic said, I'm not looking to take any long trades today. The trend is going down. And also, for those of you guys who are looking at the, I took a couple of trades on the Cume Delta yesterday. I noticed this morning, and I will pass by these kind of trades, even though I got a Cume that came on the third bar. We got a Cume that came on the third bar, so that's Nah, I like to see my Cume. I like to see my Cume signals right after a run up or right after a green bar. Even though that is money to the downside, I personally won't take it. You might take it, but I personally won't take it. I'll just wait for another bus to come along. So I just wanted to make that note, make that a note. And also,
Time was that?
that was at 8:30 and 25 seconds.
It came in on the 12R on the 4th bar down.
It came in on the 4th bar down. Yeah, I won't mess anything. If it doesn't come after a green bar, and I'm not talking about the Cume, I'm talking about the data itself. I'm talking about the data bar. I like to see that Cume, I'm going to call it the Cume divergence, come right after a run up or a run down. Or just put it this way, a green bar. Second bar, that's subject. That's subject.
I'll jump on second bar.
But the third, 4th bar, I'll wait for another bus. Even though this one came, that's a hell of a run down. But I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it. I'll wait. And I don't.
He had a little hyena.
Huh?
Had a little hyena bump after that 5-down run.
You
Had a
talking
little
about
bump
right
up.
here? Yeah. Yep. But don't get them confused. Don't get them confused. That's a pullback, but what's giving you a confirmation to get in this bar, just based on what I'm using? That's subject. like
Oh, that's I got to get in.
yeah, that's subject. So there's always another, like I say, another bus will always come along, like right now, and it's 9:48. I'm not taking no trades before report. I can't do it. Not gonna subject myself to it.
I
And
just got
here's one on the second bar
to the downside.
to the downside. But I'm not going to take that trade before report. But we'll see how it plays out. We'll definitely see how it plays out.
I'm gonna give him 10 points before 10 o'clock. Make him feel really bad.
I won't feel bad at all. Trust me.
Sure you will. Sure you will. Sure you will.
I will not feel bad at all. And guys, don't forget, this is, I want to say this live video is delayed by at least 10, 15, maybe 20 seconds, maybe even more. So don't try to copy these trades.
Oh, for HDTV.
Yeah, a clear resolution. So yeah, that's not in the making right now. That is definitely not in the making right now. So we are waiting for this report to come out, and we'll see what happens. We're looking at a minus 30,000 on the Kuhn. Let's see, do we have any sample trades here popping? Nothing to talk about yet. Morgan, good morning. Good morning. Hey Morgan, I thought about you, man. You made me go hit the internet. You made me go hit the internet yesterday. There are actual videos on, and this is the last time we're gonna talk about this, whether to trust your intuition or whether they're random thoughts. I thought that, and it's a whole lot of conversation on that, man. Now you know what? I had, and this is for Bud. I had the commitment of traders, the COT high and the COT low on my template. You can run it or you cannot run it. Here's the situation. Here's the situation that I got from the COT high and the COT low. There was, and I forgot who it was on Trade Devil's channel, and he was explaining how he used it, and it made very good sense to me. The COT high, when that COT high is running, and if I'm not mistaken, the COT high is red. So when it's green, those are trap traders. When the COT low is red, those are trap traders, which you very seldom see. But you will see that COT high turn green every so often on a closed bar, not just on a current bar, but I'm talking about on a closed bar. On that low, you might see a COT red, which means those are trap traders at the bottom of that bar. So that that's how I use the COT high and the COT low, even though you don't see it on my template right now. But on the template you download, if you download the template that I posted, you might see the COT high and the COT low. That's how I use the COT high and the COT low. I just decided to take it off now because I just had so much stuff running on this current chart. So that's why I'm not looking at it right now. And we got a report coming out in about 7 minutes. QM Delta trade is paying off, I see. That's 7-point run, not bad. Not bad. You could have got three and a half, maybe 4 points out of there, depending on your ATM strategy. And we have not even begun to get into the ATM strategies yet. Yeah, but only thing I question about the auto trader is we all want to have that holy grail auto trader. Hey man, I've been in the business. When I worked at a brokerage firm, we were doing a lot of and this was back in 2000, right? And we were doing a lot of system trading and stuff. And there's nothing like controlling that stuff manually. Nothing like it, because it just can't. Certain things you want to do at certain times of the trade that auto trader isn't going to do. Yeah, the auto trader gonna come good, and especially if you can sit back and you can write an auto trader. Now, if you know how to program, that's beautiful, you know. But yeah, I just decided I'd move a lot more quicker with my ATM strategy and just looking at things manually. You might want to improvise in between there. You might be up, you know, your auto trader, you know, you might not want to take that trade, you know, or you might want to, you know, do a quick improvisation on that trade. And that's how I look at the auto trader. It was a, you know, I got into it for a quick second and then I remember what happened when we were trading. And we had like 5 or 10 million under management. And this was fairly new. This is before people even started using AI. I can only imagine what the AI can do now, but you have to have a professional programmer to sit there and say, get in here, get out here. I mean, you got to program that thing down to a T and be satisfied with it. I'm still learning too, bud. We are still learning too. So yeah, that's you know, you're always learning. You're always learning in the markets. Don't ever feel you know it all, because that's when she, and I call her she, is going to humble you real quick. That's when the market is going to humble you real quick. And you know, we used to sit there, we used to trade like 5-10 day trading systems and about 10 daily trading systems. And man, me and this other guy, we were sitting there and we were actually pulling the trigger as we were getting the signals. And there's nothing better than that. The thing is, and I might have said this yesterday, you don't need a lot of signals to make money. You do not need a lot of signals to make money. all you need is 2 or 3 signals a day to make money. Whether those signals are giving you 4 or 5 points, or whether you catch a good run like 10 or 11 points. Because even those signals can stay at, 2 and 3 signals a day, but your volume, your lot size, once you start to increase your lot size, man. What you thinking, Magic?
I'm sorry, I'm a little bit on the hunt, and I was just looking at this acceleration that was coming off of the bottom tunnels right now, the 257 and the plus 792. Looking for some sort of pullback to go short. Just wondering what kind of signals are going to come with it. So that is basically what I'm thinking. What I'm also thinking is that turn did come after some exhaustion going down into those bands as well. We went from 1100, minus 1100, minus 800 plus. And the last one we were minus 400. Normally on a run like that, you'd like to see a pickup of delta. So the up bar next to that exhaustion like that tends to, give me some indication that they're going to have some sort of pause there. And it usually becomes a little more important to me, to see some exhaustion when I'm running down into a bottom band or a top band. Now, I would love to see something like that run into a top band and give me the same kind of exhaustion, being that we're 30,000 down.
On the Cume? Yeah.
On the Cume, yeah. So everything within context.
Okay, we are at 10 o'clock, so the pending home sales, it has come out at 10 o'clock. Got a POC wave here and a Cume.
Got a third bar. Third bar Mo's gold on the 12.
Obviously, the report that came out 10 o'clock didn't rock the market like the 8:30 report did. One thing I want to show you guys. Here's the thing. Here's something going on with the 15R. Probably hesitated. I should have been in on the pivot right after the bar, right after the pivot, because on this bar right here, I did get a Cume delta divergence. But let's sit back and see what happens here. Seeing as though we're on today's we're on the sessions of the low sessions. The low sessions are 23 and a quarter right now. Now, a lot of you guys also, I want to talk about, and I talked about this before. A lot of you guys heard this before, but this right here, when you go into your settings of your footprint, right, and you might, and I started touching on this morning, but the report come out. You might decide, I'm going to use trap traders and do everything a few at a time and then cut it on. Go back and look at your history, whether you load up 5 days or 7 days, and see which one of these signals, or should I circle the whole thing, that you agree with, that you like, you know, and you can see which ones I have checked off and which ones I don't have checked off. That's my personal preference. Nothing is etched in stone. Nothing is etched in stone. So, you know, get used to these signals, especially when it gets into these, you know, like the delta rise, the delta drop, the flip. And I think I just added the flip last night because I started doing a little bit more research on the flip. But, you know, or was it, I think it was the delta reversal, because I was looking at one of Mike Valto's videos and it made me check it off. But yeah, you know, add little ones here and there. And then also, and I keep telling people this little trick, right? You got a bunch of arrows and stuff down here. So if you want, you know, you might want to delete a symbol, or say like you don't like this round symbol for the delta divergence. Hold down your Windows key and press your period key. A menu of symbols will pop up. And you click on that smiley face, and then you can select whatever symbol you want, just so you'll know. But you got to remember what that symbol is for. So, and it doesn't come in color. It would be nice if they came in color, but basically it'll just come in monochrome, the red or the green, whatever you got selected. But
listen, Blue
yeah,
Horseshoe
that's how you
Blue
bring
Star
up
Airlines.
a list of symbols in case you want to change these symbols down here, or you can just type in the words. Notice I had bull, bear, POC, delta trap, delta sweep, POC stop volume. So, you know, that's how I set my symbols up. So then when you look on your chart, and even if you just have to set up the words, if you can't remember the symbol, even if you just set up the words, bull, bear, POC, you'll know this POC is a bullish POC. So just a quick note on that. That's just another good way of you know, making things a lot easier for reading that. Morgan asked me, is ever the bar delta and cum delta candle don't match? Right. Exactly.
I haven't seen it yet. I haven't seen that yet where they don't match.
Those are the trades I'm taking when they don't match. Right. So
But
notice,
he's saying the delta that comes up in the bar, and I think I'm understanding the delta that comes up above the bar, as well as the delta and cumulative. If the cumulative says the green delta, normally it shows up on that delta bar that it's green delta as well. I think that's what you're asking. Those two matching? Okay, yeah.
yeah, the bars never match. On the downside, you're looking for a red candle and a green delta. On the upside, you're looking for a green candle and a red delta. And of course, it has to be on the appropriate side of the moving average. I just call that my sniper signal. Don't etch that in stone, because you can add Magic did a variation of that, and you can add or subtract whatever you want from it.
Oh, I'm not taking this part away, believe me. More of an add, not subtract.
Yeah. Matter of fact, I sent the key is the moving average. Correct. Right, Morgan. The key is the moving average for me. And I even sent a note to Trade Devil in the Discord room, and I asked him if it's possible to put the cum delta on the FootPrint plot, because the cum delta is not on the FootPrint plot. I am too. I am too, Morgan. Yes, I thought about that. I thought about that. But I do have an alert set for it, and like I said, that's good enough for me. Alert set for it is good enough for me. But I want to put it into TDU. I want to know the formula for putting it in TDU, and I'm pretty sure I can put it under one of the custom formulas. I just don't know how. I'm not a programmer, so I just don't know how. But I will get it down. I will definitely get it down. I don't know, man. We down 31,000 on the QM. I expect a kind of a pullback, and more than a little pullback. But the Dow is getting whacked, man. The cash is down 659 now. The NASDAQ is down 273. Futures is down 76 and a half. And the Dow futures is down 690 with the NASDAQ futures being down 287. They are rocking and rolling today. They are rocking and rolling. By the way, those of you who are keeping up with the Euro, 0694. That's the Euro Forex, the Euro US dollar Forex. Haha.
Hint, hint. I'm running your stuff on raw data, both directions. No straight, no chaser, man. No filter.
No filter.
In the background, no filter on this. So the longs and the shorts. I just want to see how bad it can be.
Right.
I would automate this, you know.
And I usually put the stop right above the bar that signaled it. I don't risk no more, no less. Now, if it comes in on the second bar, you might want to go to the pivot. That's subject. That is subject.
Well, right now on a 12R, you've got me long.
Really?
You've got me long at 3150. That's why I said I'm playing this with, straight no chaser on this just to see where we're going to end up.
What time was that you took the trade?
The signal came at 10:10, so I took it on the close of the 10:10 bar.
I see it. You like that counter trade, man?
No. I didn't say I liked it. I never said I liked it. Never said I liked it.
And always remember, you guys can take a counter trade if you want. I'm just steadfast on my rules now. I've been trained by the market to do what it says.
Okay, cool. Stop through 32, 37. All right, 4.5 on one, 12 on another. Got stopped out on the third. But yeah, like I said, I guess that's why I haven't said a whole lot today. But I'm trying to walk this sniper forward and just take all the rules out except for the basic rule itself, which is above the average, we're going one way, or below the average, we're going the other way. And believe me, I'm not committing anything to it at this point, but I do want to see how it reacts in different situations.
Right. That's how you do when you're researching a signal. This is the signal he was looking at. You got a red QM delta above the moving average, of course. Here's the moving average right there.
Listen, Blue Horseshoe
And
loves
a up green
Blue
bar.
Star Airlines. Got it? Got it.
So
Right.
what price did you get filled
Marty.
at?
The close, 32.
So you got filled at 32. And you took it up to what?
Actually, I took it up till I started choking at 4.5 points. So I ended up pulling back to 4 points. First target was 12 ticks.
12 ticks.
So
Okay, so we
12
took.
ticks, 16 ticks, and the last one I pulled back to another, what is that?
Yeah,
Looks like 11
that's a
ticks.
good scalp. That's a good scalp.
It's a good scalp if you're looking for, just something that you feel is reliable in the first place. And even though you're in a counter trade, of course, if I had a lot more confidence, my target would have been up here at the top band.
Yeah.
So, like I said, I'm trying to feel this out. I'd like to see if will you give me one bar? If you give me one bar, then this is already a successful.
Average, put it this way, the average of one bar. And you're looking at a 12. He's not looking at an 8. He's not looking at a 10. And my chart is a 15R. So you definitely have to take that stuff into consideration if you're looking at that particular signal. But you can add more filters on it. We're just shooting off ideas here. This is not a system.
Yeah, this is the raw red light, green light system, no filter, no nothing to it. This is just it. And I would encourage you, no matter what you learn trading wise from someone else, even from a money manager, what have you, take what he gives you and go walk it back a couple of years and see how, and then walk it forward, because it would behoove you to understand how it works. Do not take my word for it. And you got to realize, out of the 10,000 signals and systems and approaches that Top Step has come up with, this is one of the first ones I've actually liked.
I don't know how to take that, man.
Hey, man, it's actually a compliment to your perseverance.
I don't know how to take that, man. I'm gonna have to think about that.
No,
But I actually got it
if
off.
you want,
It was just an idea, but after I went on the internet and I saw how other people were using it also, because there's a guy who's pretty much got it down. It's some other people out there on the internet who's pretty much got it down. So no, I don't take credit for it. I just
no, you got to take a little something off of that.
I just
But yeah,
implemented it into my library of signals.
nice introduction to actually put in your pocket, I think. But no, his trading is so, and please, that was a joke, but his trading is so different from mine a lot of times that we tend to come up with some of the same reasoning or the same decisions from different types of reasoning. And it's kind of fun at times, and then other times it makes for great debates. But there are a lot of signals that I won't begin to look at because it doesn't quite fit everything that I'm trying to do. So I should have actually said, this is one of the thousands of signals and approaches you've come up with that actually layer on top of something else that I do.
Now there is
that would have been a better approach.
Okay, there is something I definitely want to say. We are running Valto's software here. I noticed we got a POC wave. We got I think I got a delta breakout to the upside. We got passive. We got accumulation distribution. We got some passive buyers down here. And I forgot what that green arrow is. Let me look on my cheat sheet real quick. What is this green arrow right here? I got accumulation distribution. We got POC wave. And that's a prominent POC. So all of those signals came for that, turn to the upside. I would not have taken it only because of we're down. That's a counter trade. Only because we're down so much today. I would not have taken that trade. But we are running the Valto's software in the background just to see how his signals do. And in all these signals, you have to take them in context to the market. That big delta's popping off. You definitely have to take them in context to what the market is doing. You just don't take signals just because they're popping up on your screen. Slow down, look at what you're doing, and think about the market structure. Think about which way the market is trending. Even though you're going to see some long trades like this one right here on the Valtos, You know, you're going to see some trades that you missed, but your probability of trades going with the trend are going to be much higher than your probability of the trades going against the trend.
And usually when you take a trade against the trend, there's a sensation of grinding the whole time when you're in it. This one went straight, straight up, but still, usually there's a lot of back and fill when you're taking a counter trade. Even if you get to your target, you felt like you just fought a war.
So yeah, we are definitely looking at Valtos 6. And the only thing that's and I hope Valtos eventually gets the message. He doesn't have any. We got like I got 6 screens in front of me, and he doesn't have any alerts set on his signals. Why? I don't know. I can't tell you. And I haven't tried this particular version. And I already know what the answer is. But a lot of times I could go to Bloodhound and I can go to Bloodhound and set some alerts. Accumulation, distribution. Market sweep. Hey man, he got some alerts here. Hold on, let me make sure I'm looking at the right chart. I owe him an apology.
No, you don't. You can still talk about how long it took him to get there if you got him there.
Okay, so we go to alerts. This is here's a teachable moment, guys. In Mike Valto's stuff, you can set alerts. Let me make sure this is correct now.
And this has to be the newest version.
This is the newest version, right? Okay, so in alerts on Mike Valto's software, and I just got this up and running last week. You can set alerts for accumulation distribution buy, accumulation distribution sell. You can set alerts for whatever signals you decided to select inside of, I will set these up tonight. My fault. I'm eating crow. I accept it. I was wrong. We say magic took them long enough. No, man, I'm gonna go ahead and give them a benefit of the doubt. I am going to set up alerts for Valto's, and that's under the alerts. That's not under his software now. Don't get it confused, because under his software, let's go into his software for a second. Under his software, there is nowhere where you can set alerts. Oh man, I'm a little impressed. I'm a little impressed. Yeah, so you can select his signals there, but you have to go into alerts. And once you name the alert, whether you call it and I like to see several of his signals go off together at the swing. So whatever you name it, you might want to call it the wave. Let's say the wave, passive, diverge, right? That's how you name it. And you do it on the close of the bar. You set it on the close of the bar. Now, the only thing is, the wave is a 3-bar combination. So let's go back and look at that for a second. The wave is a 3-bar combination, where the delta breakout is a 2-bar combination. So you have to watch how you're going to set those alerts, and you'll know exactly what I'm talking about once you start setting those alerts. You'll know exactly what I'm talking about when you set those alerts under the Mike Valto's software. And also notice I have a fair value gap on a 5-minute running on the software also. So I learned something new today. You can set alerts on Valto's software, but you have to go into alerts to set them. You have to go into alerts and set them. And of course, you can also put your own filters in there. You can say above or below moving average or whatever else you want to do with those, but you can set alerts for those. Have that automated for the CL trade. Yeah, you know what? I'm gonna set a couple of I'm gonna put up a couple charts and set alerts for the Valto stuff. I feel bad, man. I was chewing him out. I was chewing him out. Oh man, I was chewing him, and I know Chester's getting his rocks off right now because I was telling him, man, Valtos ain't got no alerts. Okay, I was wrong. Okay, let's move on. I will have some alerts set up for Valto stuff by tomorrow. Well, actually, we're not coming online tomorrow. I'll probably do some real time trading tomorrow. But Tuesday, I will do some. Tuesday, I'll have some alerts set up, so we can. At least we'll have some sounds going off for Valto's alerts. That's going to be interesting. But don't forget, guys, this live stream is delayed by 10, 20 seconds, maybe even longer. Do not try to take these trades when you see them pop on my screen because that was 10, 20, 30 seconds ago. Okay? Just warning you guys. That's a red flag. Magic, anything to say? You want to apologize to Mike Valtos?
Oh, absolutely not. No. I did just want to let you know I'm running another counter trade off of the 12R that popped off at 1021. And basically it's still running. The entry prices, I'm just using the close of the bar. Entry price being 42.25, and it's still long right now, to be quite honest. And it would probably, if I was in this trade on a on one of those bases, I probably would get a little nervous up here because I agree with Morgan K. It's a little thin up here. And we are right now, we have not totally challenged the top band, but you know, when you're making another high and you can't get into these bands, it is, like I said, some sort of sign of exhaustion. So this would have been a trade for me. I even think I would have laid off of it as far as, you know, looking at it from a perspective of meat on the bone, because we're running into a lot of resistance with a lot of delta that says we want to go the other way. So FootPrint, if you really look at it, is not giving you a lot of new buyers. If you look down and look at the max delta, it's just not creating a lot of new buyers. So I feel like even this move, even though you're finding a blind squirrel, if you're on a scalp, you probably made money already from it, but still, it has not introduced a lot of buyers. But yet and still, if you look at your min deltas, they've got consistently over 300 buyers on a bar versus your max delta. Even though we're going up, we're barely breaking the 100 mark. So that gives you kind of an idea, you know, just looking at it from a min max perspective of how you can measure your exhaustions. It's more than one way to do it. And I got so used to dealing with Valtos for so long, a lot of times your eyes tend to draw inside of the bars, which I found out got to be a habit because there weren't any alarms at first. But, you know, so my eyes do tend to drawn to a min max position and find out, well, who's really showing the pressure. So the last three bars is kind of an anomaly. You got 500 sellers, 200, 300 sellers, and another 500 in the bar being made, but yet we're going up. Something's got to give. Mo's Gold, or Sniper as you call it, is right now making money just based on signal alone, no filters. I know I'm in a counter. So basically, if you count from the bar close to 10 ticks, that would be your first target.
Yes, Vink 100 said in TDU footprint also I cannot set alerts. You know what, Vink? I've never had problems with TDU inside of Bloodhound. I love it, man. You just got make sure you become familiar with the program and know how to use it. It was Mike Valtos that I tried every time I even load up, and it's not even running. When I load up Valtos and Bloodhound together on the same computer, it crashes. I don't know what it is. And I have done, okay, let me just load up Valtos. It's running fine right now because I don't have FootPrint on the hard drive. But when I load up FootPrint, even when they're in the same area, it's like they know each other. Hey,
Oil and water.
yeah, it's like oil and water. Something's going on with my Ninja Trader, and it starts to crash. And I've sent several emails to Valtos about it. He's never answered. I guess he feels he doesn't need to answer it. But I just decided, you know what? I'll sacrifice right now. And I don't like not running Bloodhound because I really do want to introduce Blackbird to you guys at some point, and I'll figure out how to do that. And I have a solution. I'm just not going to say it online. I don't want to insult anybody or anybody's software, but I have a solution for it. But yes, when I run Bloodhound, so Bloodhound and TDU, no problem. But when you run, so now you should be able to run Bloodhound with Mike Valtos. If you can see it in the alerts, like I just pulled up, it could be running Bloodhound. You just have to know which signals you want to set up and which signals you're looking for. And make sure you're running the most current version of Bloodhound, just to get through all the little bumps and stuff since they came out with their upgrade about a year ago. Yeah, I'm gonna on this Valtos software, anything that's 1 bar, I'm gonna set it together with the things I like, and then when you got 2 bars and 3 bars, I might have to make those separate alerts. But I will be setting those alerts up just so we can see how they run, because I got a Valtos demo account. I keep missing the trades. I haven't no alerts going off, so I missed the trades, but I'll be trading the demo Valtos account just to see how it does over time. That way you guys get a good idea to see if you want to buy it or not.
Test drive.
A test drive, so to speak.
Yeah. Yeah, Morgan K. Mo's Gold came up in a funny way. I was doing the testing on it just to see how it was with raw data. I was running through it, and finally I liked it enough to say, okay, I'm going to set up an alert for it. Well, the alert sound came up to be Jed Clampett. Wee doggy. But anyway, I thought about liquid gold, and so I just named the thing Mo's Gold. It's easy for me to know what it is, what it does. So that's how that name came about.
Make sure you give me that wave, man. Make sure I get that wave from you.
That's the least I can do for a great idea, sure. Again, like we were talking about before, we didn't get it earlier, but we're certainly getting that grinding effect up here down. Couple up, 1 down, 2 up. Getting into that choppy action right in areas that, of course, Morgan would love to see some buyers set in, but you might want to tighten your stops up a little bit here too. Again, we're dealing with, if I'm looking at it just from a perspective of Bollinger Bands, we closed into the Bollinger Bands somewhere around the 10-15 time frame on the 12R. And then we made a new high close somewhere around the 10:30 time frame, but we could not push another close beyond the Bollinger Bands. Again, that is a formation that I look at all day long. it gives me some idea of where your exhaustion is. So just put it in the real world
This is
perspective.
one
If
of your
you're looking for
trades, man.
short,
This is inside the tunnel, outside the tunnel. This is one of your trades, man.
exactly, tunnel, no tunnel, exactly what it is. So if you're a person looking for shorts, this would be that area that would become of a concern. And then this pattern would make it even more of a concern. And then when you have negative delta, a positive delta on a negative bar, which is totally the opposite. This is that counter I was telling you, Mo. Using your situation, but of course using my dyslexic
This is
brain.
not a counter trade. That signal was a good signal. I don't know why you didn't give me an order for that. That's inside, outside.
Yeah,
You
but
slack, yeah, but.
you're using the concept of a dead bar to actually take the trade on a counter basis from what you were using at the EMA for.
Yeah,
So that's
but.
why I did not
No,
introduce it or anything, because I ain't trying to confuse anybody. But yes, tunnel, no tunnel trade. And now you got a kickoff of minus 657 to the positive side with big
that's a
buy-in. We
big
trapped
run,
somebody
man.
up there.
That's a big run, man.
Hey man, look, I'm here to teach today. Tomorrow is my online day.
That
In fact, I have pulled a nice couple of nice trades here.
that's 7.25 points, man. What are you talking? Give me them signals when you get them, man. He's holding
Well,
out on us, people. I'm telling y'all right
no,
now.
man, I gotta slowly feed the baby, man. Come on, man. You can't get a baby indigestion here. But that's why I was worried about Morgan's 50 when he said he was looking for 50. I said,
Right.
I don't know if he's going to get there or not. I am not one to predict, but you look at a certain pattern over and over and over, and you start wondering, maybe you might want to tighten your stuff up from there. So that's the only reason I made that statement, is just because of that pattern and just because of that location.
And that tunnel inside outside, that signal came on a big delta also, if you notice. That was a big delta. So yeah, yep. And I have your deltas. If I'm not mistaken, I do have your extreme delta set at 950.
Right.
Okay. All right.
No, man, no holdout here, man. But I think I told the story yesterday about Charlie Brown's teacher. That's what I continually got for you for years when I was trying to push this on you.
No, don't try
Actually,
that, man.
no,
Don't
man, I
try.
gotta.
Nah,
Hey,
man.
I said yesterday, you
Nah,
gotta
man.
blame somebody.
Nah,
But no,
man. Don't blame me, man. Nah.
that is basically my favorite pattern if I had to pick just a price action pattern.
This
We got the
5 minute.
same kind of scenario. It doesn't look the same at this point, though.
Yeah, this 5 minute gap. It has to close back below this 5 minute value gap here, or fill it, so to speak. I'll be right back.
Morgan K, how far beyond your entry did you get? How many points did you actually see before it started dropping against you? Salty, by the time you finish doing a lot of your, what you would think to be a learning process, you'll probably find the 14 ticks out of the front of those trades a lot of times. So right now we're coming out of that condition, which is why it's funny how a condition changes a trade. I wanted the short trade there, but I don't want the long trade when it came down and showed us a dead bar again. Again, I'm not trying to go against the cumulative for pullbacks or anything like that. We're starting to trend a little bit to the upside, but the cumulative really keeps me a little bit wary about what kind of trade I really want from this. Dealing with raw data, I haven't pulled the trigger. It came up around 10:35, I believe. There was another sniper signal. Yeah, I think it was on the 10:35 bar. But it has a signal to go long as well from this area. This one doesn't attract me as much because I'm actually saying to myself that yeah, we're gonna make a higher high. And deep down inside, if I don't believe it, I can't really take that trade and be committed to it. Because every time I see something jerked back on me, I'm probably ready to get out emotionally. Well said, Mr. Bean. Well said. And just knowing some things about Mr. Bean personally, Morgan K, he's probably got a pretty nice sized library in his large head. So he doesn't use but 2 or 3 things. That's a Hakanashi guy. Simplicity, yeah, me too. Me too. I don't like a bunch of colors and lines and squiggles all over my chart till the day is over that they're the ones that I put on it. But simplicity is about having 5 or 6 things meet each other. You're not going to know which ones those are until you go through 1,000 different approaches, ways, signals, and everything else. Not saying it's got to go in that direction, but still, your learning process is only at the beginning. And keeping it simple a lot of times confuses a trade because I guarantee you, every trade I take to the upside, I've got an argument 10 different ways to the downside, and vice versa. So keeping it simple works to learn something. But the more you learn, the more you tend to layer things on top of each other. Just like the first thing that you do in the day for me would be to look at a daily chart because I'm an intraday trader. That didn't come overnight. So you're still relating something that you know about one chart versus another and how to come to a decision. So a lot of it really comes from the total education you get from it and how much of it you can use to put together and how much you literally can throw away as well. It's a lot of shedding process when it comes to picking up on trading. Okay, Top Step, you finally had a loser on that
Listen,
one.
Blue Horseshoe loves Blue Star Airlines. Got it?
Got it.
Right. Marty.
Don't you just love this guy's alerts? And he gets another one that was not below. So yeah, this kind of between the Cume Delta and the average of the Cume Delta, it seems to at least give you an opportunity to stay out of some sideways action.
Now, one thing I am going to add to that, and I did notice this, looking at this chart, Magic had signals. These are, ever since I marked this signal right here, this second signal right here. Did I get another signal? Since I'm only taking short trades today, I'm only looking for short signals. So I'm looking for a red bar, green delta, and this is above the moving average. Magic had to impose regular EMA on top of his Cume delta, whereas with TDU they have the Bollinger Bands that are incorporated with their Cume delta. And I'm starting to see that makes a big difference. So if you do have access to TDU's Cum Delta, enable the Bollinger Band and make the top band and the bottom band transparent on the Cum. That way you only have the moving average on that Cum. Because I did impose a moving average on top of this moving average just to see if it was the same. It wasn't quite the same.
You do realize, did you leave that on default settings?
Yeah,
You do realize that normally when you set up a Bollinger Band, the default is 20
yeah,
period
but
moving average.
yeah,
I'm just saying. Yeah.
that's but I'm just looking at the moving average on the between the Bollinger Bands. I'm not looking at the deviations. Yes.
I understand. I'm saying you realize the default setting for that moving average is normally 20.
It's normally 20, right? And I have it set at 18, by the way.
That's what I was asking. Did you change that setting?
Yeah.
Okay.
I did change it. $10.39. That's Morgan.
I do, but I'm above the average.
Morgan, that's a up bar with down delta. I'm looking for down bars with up deltas. I'm looking for the opposite. Let me explain that again. I'm only thinking short right now. So on the top half of this chart, my bars, I'm only looking for red bars right now on the top half. On the bottom half, I'm looking for green bars. But this delta has to be below the moving average. You got me, Morgan? Yeah, I'm not looking for that, what you see right there at 1039. Let's see. It's even a long signal at 1036, then 1039. Yeah, those are long signals, but the delta is minus 29,000. Or the Cum delta, not the delta. The Cum delta is minus 29,000.
That's what kept him out. The Cum Delta. He didn't have to turn anything off.
Right.
The filter was the Cum Delta.
Right. So on my alerts, I do have the setup for the alerts, right? But after I'm looking for that setup of the up bar and the down bar and so forth, I also have set in there that Cum Delta has to be greater or equal to, my number is 8,000 on the bullish, and where's my minus 8,000 on the bearish. And when you write these alerts, man, you have to be very, very strict about how you want those, because those alerts are only doing what you program them to do.
That's what I was actually saying just before you got back, that a lot of times your filters you put in on the 12R especially, between the same time he was talking about 1035 to 1040, I got two signals. One was long. You're not looking for long because of the cumulative delta effect. And then one was short, but you're not looking for that short because it's above the EMA. And in essence, what you had was a up, down, back and fill situation. So I was just commenting on that just before you came back. I said, wow, they kind of kept you out of some sideways crap.
I missed Valto's class last night. I wanted to catch it, man. I had some questions asked him, but I was come 8:15. I'm like, I can't hang for another 15 minutes since I get up so early in the morning. I went to bed. I was going to record it, but I didn't even have time to set that up.
Should put your DVD in the machine, man. Set the timer. You know, they got timers on them
Do you mean
nowadays.
VHS, man?
See?
You mean the VHS, man?
No, man. I bought a DVD player, some kind of blue something.
Oh, Blu-ray.
Oh yeah, that's what they call it.
Yeah,
Okay.
they call it Blu-ray.
Yep. Had a little timer.
Yeah, we're dancing on this 5-minute gap here now.
All right, we get one little signal on the third bar.
Let's see what happens here, gentlemen. Think it's getting ready to put
See
me
what
in a
happens
trade.
on this.
Think it's getting ready to put me in a Cum Delta divergence trade.
$33.50.
Not quite feeling it, but let's see what happens here. Get stopped out on this one.
I saw this action so much last night. It's like, don't even look.
If this bar closes down, I think I got a shot. If it closes down. This is the sniper signal. Yep, buyers are coming in.
Are you going to struggle through this zone? Push through that, you'll be feeling pretty good, pretty good, pretty good.
I'm hoping they fill this low value node. I'm hoping this low value node doesn't hold, Morgan. And actually, you're supposed to be able to blow through low value nodes, though, aren't you?
They're just supposed to get filled. They're the magnets. The ones that hold are the high volume node. So yes, if you look at it from that perspective, you got a better choice of getting through a low volume node than a high volume.
Then a high volume node, right. Yeah, I figure Monday and Tuesday I'm gonna get my trades in. Start getting my trades in real time. I'm in at 32 and a half. I'm short from 32 and a half. My first target is 30 and a half. My second target is 50 and 25 and a half. And I could possibly move that out the way if we start falling, if the market starts falling here. Oh, it didn't feel me. Feel me. Yeah, but there we go. Now I'm gonna move my target out the way.
That's all, folks.
I got a quick scalp on that. Got a quick scalp. Now let's see how much is left on the. Magic likes counting the points that's left on the table instead of counting the points that I bank in. I think he gets his rocks off on that.
Right now, I'm still collecting on the same trade. I got in actually only a tick above you.
Did you?
Yeah, so I've hit the first target, but my second target was sitting right where it was.
Where's your second target at?
28.75.
All right, I'm gonna grab this. You go ahead and take over. Hello.
So
Speaking.
Yep. Just a matter of letting the dog hunt at this point. Not a whole lot to say. What I'm looking at most on these drops is how much delta I'm picking up. Am I picking up delta as I move? Okay, just collected the next one. So a lot of times as this moves along, that's dictating how I'm going to move my stops. Right now, I tend to follow my stops by the last, in this case, the last down bar. So if the last down bar, the high of that was 32 and a quarter, so my stop would be at 32 and a half.
Okay, I'm back. I'm back.
So that is, and then my ultimate target right now is at 26. To be quite honest with you, if I get 6.5 points out of this, whether it runs another 10 points or not, mathematically, I like that 6.5 points.
Oh,
It fits in with risk
Salty, you got
reward.
Jigsaw? I didn't know you had Jigsaw. Sorry about that, Magic. Go ahead, continue on.
No, man, Mark is not doing a whole lot for me. This last one is at one tick below break even.
Are you out?
No, I still got a runner. The first two targets were hit. I am trying to get some rail riding going
What's
on.
your entry?
My entry was 32 quarter, right above where you got in. And the stop right now is, oh, I'm sorry, I'm losing a tick, 32 and a half. So I'm basically trailing the same way I normally do by one bar, one down bar. So if I were to make a new down bar, that would pull my stop down behind it until I get to my ATM choke point, which is at that point we tend to tease each other, but there's nothing I'm going to do at that point. Because normally I set up my ATM to start choking at a certain point that I don't want to manage anymore. I don't want to think about the money. I don't want to save this or make that. I'm at that point that I'm satisfied and I just don't want to give a lot back. And the closer your targets are, the more you need an ATM because it never moves. You can't move fast enough. When you're trying to get some, huh?
I try to tell people that all the time.
Yeah, when you got some distance on your stops, it's nice to have a manual move. But when you get close to your targets or you're at that point that, you know what, this 5 points makes sense to me, you may not want to give back 4.5 points of that 5. You may want to say, you know what, just for my efforts, give me 8 ticks. It all depends on what one's personality is as well as what one's target is. Because if you're trying to have a 15-point target and you're at 5 points, you're not moving your stops into a choke position. So it all depends on what you're trying to get out of your trade. Right now, like I said, I'm where the big dog will hunt, and I will most likely start choking somewhere around 5 to 5.5 points. But at that point, everything is followed by the last down bar. So at this point, the last close bar, we did get enough momentum, so we did pick up sellers on the way down in this bar. Had we shown some exhaustion in selling, I probably would have put my stop at the close of the current bar, as opposed to having it above the close bar already. So that's some ways a lot of times I'll determine whether I want to move my stop a little bit closer as opposed to, because I'm detecting exhaustion. A green bar isn't exhaustion, they just coming to get you then. But I'm talking about down bars in your direction that basically start losing their way with buyers or sellers coming in. In this particular case, sellers. So we've increased at least. Looks like they're coming to snap this one off unless I get a reprieve. 32 halves, 32 halves, 32 halves. I would really feel very smart if I were to get a bar to turn down at this point.
And what's your entry again? Because I got
30. I said 32 quarter. I meant 32 3/4. I got in a tick better than you.
Okay, you got a tick better than me. Okay. And
Right.
where's your stop at?
Stop is done. Yep, just hit it.
Okay.
30, 32 half. So I made a tick on the on the runner piece.
Okay. Okay.
I'll give you a little something. You know, that would have been, I don't know if I would have taken that real trade because that actually came in on the 12 bar, that came in on the third bar. And I said, wow, he's getting 2 bars down. But the 12 bar, that signal came in on the third bar. So it's all about that flavor. If you like it, that would have made me it made me a bit nervous just looking at it. High or low on a major scale. I think Morgan K was talking about the volume down here. I think volume got to be about 5 times greater.
We are down 659 on the cash and 278 on the Nasdaq cash. This market is falling out of bed today.
That's your reminder to stay short. I know that's what that is.
Yes.
Stay short. Stay short. I see this. I know I see it, but no,
Yes,
stay short.
you're
Stay
right.
short. Yeah.
That's how I remind myself what I'm going to be doing. Just look at the cash Dow, especially when the cash Dow and the cash Nasdaq are in sync. It's only one for me. It's only one way to go.
Yeah, kind of forming a head and shoulders there, fly guy. Haven't heard that term in a while, but yeah, kind of forming a head and shoulders to the upside, messing around with yesterday's, not yesterday, but pre-session market lows. Not giving up the ghost, not giving it up. You know, Top Step, I have decided that sometime this weekend I'm going to put your trading theory of the sniper on some Chester bars and do like a 25R or a 48R and see how effective that really is. That's why I'm running this both ways. Without filter.
Yeah.
Yeah, because if it's realistic enough on a longer term chart, creates longer term moves, gives me longer time to get in and work a trade too. So just using a theory based on how reliable something has been so far.
Yeah.
That's right, Chester bars. A lot of pressure to the upside his last little run.
Yeah, no matter how good the upside looks, uh, I know some of these counter trades are tempting, but I can't see myself taking a long trade right now. I'm looking for pullbacks and back to the downside right now. Then too, I've already pulled one trade today. I might be done for the day.
Probably after that one anyway. But you're 3-1 on just raw data going both ways. No discrimination on this, by the way,
Right, right.
so far. Um, I don't know how. Well, you probably hit that average mark, that $500 day trader kind of thing, and you're starting to pull your calculator out, I'm sure.
That's funny. Ha ha.
And you brought something up I did want to ask you about. You brought up Bollinger Band average versus using the EMA on top of Ninja's cumulative average. I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, cumulative delta.
Uh-huh.
How close are you? Because I know you. You put them side by side.
No, I didn't put the Bollinger Bands on top of it. I actually put a EMA, which you were running, and I noticed there was a big difference. I didn't put the Bollinger Band, which I should. You just gave me an idea. That's what I should have done also, to see if it was close. Because if that's off, then I know there's more to it than just putting an indicator on top of an indicator.
Correct. Correct. Okay.
And actually, I don't know if you guys are into Lizard Trading. Lizard Trading, he sells buku. I'm gonna just say buku indicators, and he has a thing where several of his indicators, he says you can nestle with another indicator, meaning you can put an indicator on top of an indicator, like the cum delta. You can put something on top of that if you can nestle that indicator on top of another indicator. And that is, you just reminded me of a software I used to run. This was like back in 2003, 2004. I used to do that all the time before people were even doing that. I think I deserve some credit for that. But anyway, yeah, you can put indicators on top of indicators, but I don't know if the programming is different or whatever the case might be, but Lizard Indicators has quite a few indicators where you can nestle an indicator inside of another one.
EMA Morgan K. EMA.
And for you guys that are new, just understand, these are just ideas, and more than just a little more than ideas, but how me and Magic approach the market using the FootPrint, using OrderFlow. And you don't necessarily have to just use OrderFlow. Whatever you're using, whether you're using Bollinger Bands, whether you're using what's what I like, the Keltner K or whatever. You can put
RSI.
the RSI, the stochastics. You can put whatever you want with the FootPrint. I guarantee you there will be something that you see that is consistent and that you like.
Just to kind of bounce off that idea, to give you an idea of how sometimes you may get to where you want to go. I use a lot of Bollinger Bands. That means that a lot of things for me, I'm looking for a lot of fade from the bands or some sort of sign of strength by getting through them. To me, I'm looking for exhaustion and I'm looking for acceleration. So I looked at a lot of FootPrint that dealt with exhaustion and acceleration, something that gave me a look at so-called the edges of where support and resistance were. So, once you start learning one thing versus another, it's very hard to say, oh, this means acceleration. And you don't look at the other 3 or 4 things that also look at acceleration. It still takes me back to the guy that always talks about if you're going to measure something and you want to be accurate with it, measure it with 3 or 4 or 5 different things that don't come from the same direction. Period. If you want to measure momentum, if you want to measure volume, if you want to measure price action, if you just want to measure distance, time, guess what? All of those things are different ways to go at the market. So, it's never a one thing or one trick pony when it comes to this. So if you're looking at FootPrint and you're trying to match up what you're doing, assess what you're doing first. Am I dealing with pullbacks and I need to see exhaustion before we take off, or I need to see participation before we take off, or whatever it is you use or want for confirmation? FootPrint puts you in a few seconds earlier. And that's really where FootPrint is designed to be, giving you the moment at the time. What am I thinking? Now it's been confirmed, as opposed to waiting for maybe one long bar to close and you're confirmed. I think a couple of times you've heard Top Step being a trade and he said, buyers are coming in here. You literally can see inside the bar for a moment. And a lot of times that will help you even manage a trade or confirm a trade that you're thinking. So match them up. Think about what you're doing. Find those types of signals that measure what you're looking for.
And we started this trade room just to, throw ideas back and forth. Magic didn't know I was going to start it. I said, man, let's go live today. Let's just go live today. He's like, what? So, we're just throwing ideas back and forth. It's, there's nothing etched in stone here. So, if you got any questions or any ideas, we'd be more than happy, throw them our way. We'd be more than happy. Let's talk about it, because that's all me and Magic talk about is trading in World of Tanks anyway. So anyway, yeah, just you've got any ideas, we'd be more than happy to, just throw the questions at us. We'd be more, and I did, and the reason why I really want to do this room is because you very seldom see people do real-time trading on OrderFlow. You got Futures Analytica, and he's running a bot, and you got Futures Flow. I think he's manual also. But, there are a whole lot of people on the internet, and they're showing you pictures after the fact. That's easy. I wanted to learn, and the only way I learned was putting on the trades and playing what you see. Play the chart. Play what you see, because you don't have a lot of time to think about this stuff when you get in or before you get in the market. You got 5-10 seconds at most. You got to move. You got to make that move. You got to decide, is this the trade I want? Is everything lined up? All this within 5 seconds. Is everything lined up like I want? Boom, I'm long. Pick your strategy in your ATM. Boom, I'm long, or boom, I'm short. And you're not seeing too much of that. I say I can see it. I can see, it's easy to pick pictures after the fact. Let's get some real time experience in, so we'll know what we're doing. Oli, good evening. Good evening, Oli. Good evening.
Yeah, good morning to you, Oli.
Is it evening where you're at? Is it where are you at, Oli? What part of the country are you in? For some reason, I get the feeling you're outside the country.
Yeah, a little further east.
Germany. Okay.
6 hours, 7 hours. I believe they are ahead by 6 or 7. Good by me. You know, I'm continually trying to track your sniper bottom, your panel 2. And so far I'm still running about neck and neck to where you're breaking when you're below or what. So far we're not that far off. It's tradable. I'll put it that way. Negligible. You got that right, Mr. Bean. Quite honestly, a lot of times, especially when I'm looking at something on a sim condition, I am doing some button pushing in the background, and I try to at least announce it. You know, Top Step can get a little long-winded sometimes, haha. But yeah, I try to at least get it in, you know, within a couple of minutes, just to give you an idea of, again, of what we're looking at, how we're looking at it. Love price action, and price action and FootPrint together, they just seem to match very, very, very well. That used to be the Top Step go-to when it came to inside days. Just go to price action.
Listen, Blue Horseshoe loves Blue Star Airlines. Got it?
Got it.
Right.
Got it.
Marty.
Got a POC wave triggered there, and that must be to the upside, I take it. It's not triggered on Valto, so, but yeah, it's triggered inside of TDU. But now I'm a little excited about the Valto's alerts now. So now we can actually see, or we're going to actually see what's going on with the Valto signals, especially since you have that option to set alerts on the swing. That's going to be fun. That is going to be fun. How did I make them bars bigger like that?
A little acceleration going on to the downsides. Little bit of acceleration. Let's see if we can get some stall action.
We got minus 508 on that pivot to the downside. Well, we got a ratio, we got a min max, we got a thin print, and we got multiple imbalances.
Trapped a lot of buyers on that bar, on that pivot bar as well. We went from if you look inside and look at your min maxes, you went as far as 739. That's probably the highest delta number you got on buyers in a while, about 5 bars, but yet you still finished down. One of Mike Valto's, I changed the name to a whip, but it's really saying you got a lot of buyers in this bar at 11:15. If you look at your maximum, they went all the way to 739 and tried to push this up, but they still couldn't finish it, and they finished negative.
You talking about the pivot?
At the pivot, 11:15. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it went from plus
Lot of pressure.
239 to 179. That's not enough to make me move, though.
The discrepancy, if you look back, you're not getting a lot of push on the buyers anyway. But all of a sudden, you pop a 739 and you can't go to the upside.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it doesn't necessarily meet the threshold number, but if you think about it, you turned about 950 to the worst.
739. What do you see 739 at? What you looking at?
Pivot max delta.
Oh, the max delta on the pivot. Yes.
Yes.
Max delta on the pivot is 739. Yeah. And then it ended up going negative. Yeah.
Right. That's a huge bar within the bar itself, not waiting for 2 bars to do it. It
Right.
literally had a lot of buyers in there, and it shows it right there at the max delta.
And you know what? That's, Mike Valtos talks about that. But that's that's what I like about looking at FootPrint, because it'll have you getting in on the turn. On the turn. You're not lagging by 3 and 4 bars. You're getting in on that at the end of that pivot, if that's your thing, if that's what you're paying attention. And I was just looking at the delta flip or the reversal flip. I think that's
Correct.
called
If somebody's looking for shorts, it kind of fits the narrative. It doesn't say, yeah, you're right, but it certainly fits the narrative that you might have some. I call it a stall tactic, because you got a lot of buying came in at 4 bars up.
right.
But I would expect this to be setting up some sort of drop.
Yeah. Yeah. Agree.
Fly guy might be waiting for the top band to show up, I'm sure. And a lot of times he pulls his triggers off the top bands as well. And I am straddling cum delta averages right now. So it's not easy to make a decision unless you're going by cum delta only.
For those of you that are interested in the template that I'm using, and the other little things like the range bars with the range marker, and I forgot what else I added. It's under the description of today's video, and it will always be under the description. So you got 3 links to download, and I got names beside it, so you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. And the fair value gap.
Why do you always forget him, man?
I don't know, man.
Okay, another downside signal, but we're not in position on.
You right, Fly
your
Guy. I
average.
want to see a clean breakdown too. That's kind of what I'm waiting for, because we're chopping right now. I would be real skeptical about taking a short right now, only because we're chopping. We're not going in and out of V turns or U turns and so forth. We are definitely chopping. So I would be real skeptical about taking a short trade right now, which that's what's stopping me from taking any short trades right now. It's just, you can tell when the market is chopping, and you can tell when the momentum and it's running. So yeah, that's what's stopping me from getting in there. And it's 11:22.
Do you know where your kids are? Mm-hmm.
I ain't running the hoagie right now, Chester. Not running the hoagie right now. And I thought about loading it up this morning, but I said I'm gonna be like Bruce Lee. I'm gonna master one kick 10,000 times instead of mastering 10,000 kicks one time.
Oh boy, you're looking like water every day.
Listen, Blue Horseshoe loves Blue Star
Be water,
Airlines.
my friend. Be
Got it?
water.
Right. Marty,
Yeah, I actually thought about running a hoagie this morning. I said, nah, I don't want to start another rabbit hole without getting this down to a T. Hoagies look nice, but getting this down to a T right here, getting this footprint down, and being able to pull off trades when you want, how you want, that's the key right there. Yeah, we are definitely chopping. We got a high sitting up here at what's this high sitting at? Let me squeeze these charts together, man. Yep, getting close back to 46.
That's my man. That's my man. What you using? About a 10-hour bar, Chester?
No, man,
Uh,
he looking at his phone, man. He's looking at the same thing we looking at.
He's using 10-hour bars.
No, he not. Yeah, that's what I thought. Chester's looking at our charts.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, he's looking at the 12R. Yes, Chester, that is a potential 2B. That is a potential 2B. And actually, I would be comparing it to that 11:15 and 45 seconds, not that 2B all the way over on the end. I'm looking at this most recent high, or the most recent high after the last pivot right here. But that looked like that's getting ready to get negated now too. That fair value gap is holding, ain't it, man? Like I said, I'm impressed with the fair value gap zones. I really am. And we have that running on a 5-minute time frame.
Slowed down considerably up here.
Slow down big time. Slow down big time. And this is what I mean about, you could see a lot of trades going off in footprint, but really it's about sitting on your hands and waiting for your unicorn to show his head. There are a lot of trades going on here if you're looking for that particular thing. But what I'm looking for is not popping right now. So I have no problem sitting on my hands. When in doubt, stay out.
Sounds like a man that has prescribed to the couch first, has got his psychoanalysis correct, and just has convinced himself that, you know what, I got enough scars and bruises on my arms now that I can just take the best trades, at least the more high probability trades, put it that way.
We definitely we are coming up to a zone, some resistance at 47.5. That's a pretty big zone. That probably came off that 8:30 report.
How large is, oh, there it is. Okay, that's a 30-minute zone.
Yep. No, that's a 5-minute zone for me. That's 47 and a half up to 67, and that's 20 points on a 5-minute zone.
No, man, that's what I keep trying to tell you.
No what?
That's let me just make sure I'm talking trash the right way. Yeah, that's a 30-minute zone, man.
That's a 5-minute zone, man. I know what I got set on these charts, man.
Oh, folks, time to take a pool.
What are you talking about? Let me hold on, let me I'm going to it right now. Fair value gap. Oh, my fault.
No, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. We threw the replay. We got the replay in.
Me and Magic do this all day long. All right, man. All right. You win that little checker game.
Nice reversal bar.
Let's see what we're looking at here.
Nothing impactful, just still showing strength right now.
To the upside, yeah. That's what I got shown on my profile.
Yeah.
Footprint. Yeah, we're rocking and rolling to the upside. A lot of buying strength. That's a dead bar, actually, on the profile.
Mm-hmm.
That divergence. Every time that divergence pops up with a black arrow, that's a sell signal. Where are we on the CUM? 27.3. Let's see how that plays out. Every time that black arrow pops up with that, that's something I kind of would be interested in. Gets beyond this, I would have been stopped out. Let's see what happens here. This is my next this is going into R&D, my research and development lab next. I really got to get into this. But look at the momentum. Momentum 2261. We got 1088, 2261. We are losing momentum on this side, but it's all green right now. Let's see what happens here. Might go back down to the fair value gap. And these are running on 15R, so you get one bar out of this.
Listen,
Jopper's
Blue
green.
Horseshoe
Bar
loves
and a half.
Blue Star Airlines. Got it?
You probably
Right.
would have at least got your
Marty.
first target of 12 ticks, 10 to 12 ticks out of it. Yeah, we're going back down to this fair value gap. Yeah, I like this signal right here. I haven't put no heavy thought into how I'm going to run this program with what I'm running now, but it's something to be thought about. That's a good scalp.
Nice excelled out.
And notice that momentum, 2261. Now it's 959. Momentum is dropping and the market is dropping with it. How many points is that from? I'm going to say, worst case scenario, 41. Down to the bottom of that zone would be 5 3/4 points. See if we can get down there. happened to my bottom indicator? Huh. I might have to fix that.
Was it?
Yeah, the signal usually has some good follow through. One thing I don't like is, and this just reminded me after looking at this 12R, and it's on the 15 also. And this a heads up for you guys that are looking to pull trades. When you got a sell zone on top and a buy zone on the bottom, that lets you know right there. It's a range going on. It's chop chop. That's how I interpret it anyway. Oh, I know. I put that zone on there. I put that zone on that 12R for Magic, but I always tell them out of sight, out of mind. I don't run a 30-minute on my 15R. I just want to see a 5-minute. Because those zones will mess with you psychologically. They'll stop you from doing what you want to do. They will do that. And then you sit back and say, oh, damn, I should have took that trade. That's why I took the 30-minute off my chart.
Here's where we differ with each other and argue and laugh all day a lot of times. I want to see that 30-minute zone, especially if I have the delta that I'm looking at, the cumulative delta that I'm looking at today. It gives me a point of reference and reminds me that right now you're probably going to have to break this to change your mind. So neither one or neither philosophy being wrong, but you're going to act on what you see is really, I think, what Top Step's message is. And what you see is something you hopefully will be able to key on. You know, that would be more of my message. I want to see it, but if I don't want to see it, you know, it's a click of the button. On an up day, I don't think I would want to see the 30-minute, but then I've never tried it from that perspective either. Yeah, it's what is your flavor? What do you want to see? It looks like we're going to retest this up here with all of this cume. Anybody see 50-50 coming in on their charts? Anybody think we can get there? I know Morgan K says 50. I already saw his prediction. Anybody think 50-50? Yeah, right around the 50s again. Since I'm running a low volume node, I'm going to act like this 30-minute is an attraction. So I've got a fair value gap. Did you take yours? Oh, you didn't take it off. So yeah, that to me, that fair value gap is looking more like an attraction as opposed to something that I don't know if it's going to hold or not, but it definitely looks like an attraction, especially with the number 50 in it.
Man, I can use some good crab bits today. Some real good crab bits. That might not be a bad idea. Blue Dolphin, I see you in my future.
You can tell a lot of times when people have green in their account for the day.
I see
Tends to
crab
make them
bits in
hungry.
my future.
Makes them hungry.
Listen, Blue Horseshoe loves Blue Star Airlines. Got it?
Got it.
Right.
Got it.
Marty.
Now that I know that Valtos has alerts on his well, I can set alerts inside the alert panel. I'm gonna take those alerts off of TDU because I know Valtos alerts will be coming in on the swing.
Got a little double top action. 65 versus 660. Green and green. This time we can't get in. Not quite the pattern I like.
And yeah, we're topping here definitely.
They haven't quite let up off the pressure yet, but they're definitely grinding. Again, you're moving against Cume. So normally you tend to get somewhat of a grind going in the opposite direction of it. All right. Fading upstream. We just lost a little bit of delta on this move now.
We got stop and volume flashing up here. We got thin print flashing and a bearish POC flashing on top of this bar.
As well as fading momentum. A lot of little tricks coming in there. A lot of people buying though on the ask though. Around 45 quarter.
Yeah, I was going to bring
A lot of
that.
activity.
Right here, we're looking at 660 on this ask. Of course, this number isn't completed yet, but that's too big for me to play a double top. Not unless this number gets significantly smaller, but it would create a new bar if it went one tick above 45 and a quarter. So possibly the next bar might create a higher high with less with this ask being a lesser number. That's what I'm waiting to see how this is going to play out. And I would also be looking at the delta. Delta on this bar right here, 464. And this bar did not complete. I'm gonna give you guys a heads up. When you see a bar, if you're looking to get into a trade and you see a bar sitting there on the line and you run ahead of it, how many times have we gotten screwed on that, Magic?
They have very good breaks. That's all I can say.
Yeah. Don't assume that this current bar is going to close if you're looking to go long, because if you were looking to go long at that next tick, recognize now you'd be pissed off right about now. That's with any time frame. Do not run ahead of your bars. Wait for that bar to close. So if you're going to put in a buy stop, you put in a buy stop and you let it trade at 45 and a half. Or if you're going to put in a sell stop, you let it trade at 41 and a quarter. If you run ahead of those bars, I can't tell you how many times I have seen this bar turn around on a dime on the very last tick and go back the other way. I downloaded this from a Salty. I downloaded this tool from a website in the UK. I'll post this also. It's a nice little neat little gadget. And Chester say, how many buyers the last time? I tell you what, Chester, is less than 60. So you circle this right here. So we know that's 660, right? So let's go back. Let's squeeze the chart together a little bit. We got a higher high up here of, looks like 92. I'm going to have to blow that up just to see. Yeah, last time, 52. Last time we got up in this area, it was 52. So 660, no, that's not doable. You always want to see the last bar made on that high lower than the bar you're referencing. And right now, that ask is 52 up in this area. And notice this bar did close down, even though it's less buyers up here. 463 to me, that's still a big number. 463 compared to 660, that's still a big number. Not enough for me to jump in and say I'm going to short this. Now, if it was talking 50 or 100, maybe 100, I would think about it. But you're talking 50 or 25 or something like that, I would probably jump in with both feet. But this number right here, 463 to 660, nah, you can have that trade. I'll wait for another one. But you do have a delta of 464. Then you got -7. I'll wait. Cum delta's -27,000. And then you got -26,000 here. That's up when you think about it.
Morgan made a comment about the fact that Cum's been rising pretty much since we opened, but yeah, at least since 10 o'clock.
Yeah, that's up. So that's a no-go on the Cum already. That's a no-go on the Cum already. Even though you got on the Delta is telling you, but look at the buyers up there. You got 463.
Listen, Blue Horseshoe loves Blue Star Airlines.
You got 463 versus 660.
Marty.
So now you can have that. I'll wait. Especially since it's coming back down here to this buy zone again.
Yeah, that was almost a nice acceleration for a 12R to come out. I usually like an actionable number coming out of acceleration. Number one, the last pivot when we went up into so-called getting into the bands again, we never really got there and we just turned around. So we kind of missed it. Not exactly exhaustion, it's a lower high, to be quite honest. But we got a lot of action there. I think you were talking about a lot of little tricks off of that pivot at 11:45. But we got positive delta on that. And I just call it a red-green signal when it comes to footprint. A lot of times when you trap a lot of buyers up there, so-called, you got 329 on a down bar. And you reverse on the very next bar off of that pivot with a nice red number. We're talking something above 350 is normally my threshold. I like actionable numbers of -500. But accelerated means you just went from buyers, a total buyers number on a down bar to a total seller's bar on the same direction bar. It kind of gives you momentum play.
But you like to see that number, what? You did say
I,
500 or
I,
more?
depending on how big the turn is, because if I saw minus 350 on that bar, I would be looking at almost 100% turnaround from buyers to sellers.
Right.
So a lot of times I'd like to see 500 as action, but if I compare those two numbers, delta to delta, it would make me move probably at minus 350. Because the preponderance is down there. Not quite enough acceleration that you feel like you want to move it. But that's kind of the way I look at acceleration. And for me, a lot of times I like to see a double-digit green number and then a triple-digit red number over 350 to 400. And that kind of puts me in the idea that buyers are petering out and the sellers are picking up.
Yeah. Yeah.
Another way of looking at footprint, that's really all it is, because you can tell right now for me, I tend to look at the min-max combinations a lot when it comes to getting close to my favorite areas of concern, which is normally Bollinger Band tops and bottoms. So again, I'm using the same thing I've always used, but I'm actually layering something on top of it. Tupac. Oh, okay. Got a little Tupac action during the day. This will be interesting to see how that works out to the upside this time. Struggling up here.
Here's that
The Tupac.
here's that order. Here's that divergence again on that profile bar. Let's see where it takes us this time. And you don't have as much momentum up here this time either. Matter of fact, the momentums are not even green. So we might get a little follow through on this. Might get a little follow through on this. Yeah, Oli, it's chopping too much for me. There's no momentum here. There's no momentum here. And it's in a tight, starting to look like it's starting to get into a tight range.
Brian. Ollie, I used to run the IB for a breakout, but I realized my philosophy of trading made me hesitate to take any breakouts because I don't believe breakouts really working maybe 10% of the time. So just my philosophy kept me from using it or using it as a reference. So I had a little bit of issue with that. So I took it off, kind of like what Top Step will do when it comes to taking 30-minute zones off. That's one of my things that I had to kind of eliminate.
That's right. You was an IB man at one time. You was crazy about the IB.
Yeah, because you still got reaction there, but the whole thing about the rip was you couldn't predict it enough for me to be tradable. You had some really nice runs, and then you had some runs for a few times in a row, which was that drawdown was ugh. And I'm saying this from from a position of a pullback trader. So please forgive my scrunchy face on that one. Starting to form some momentum to the upside. Kind of hard for me to even dig in there because I've got not much meat on the bone.
Now, one thing I do look at, even looking at it on this 12, notice this bar has 52 now, right? And first it was 660, 463, and this low is 52. Even if this bar closes up, if the next bar or two closes down, we might get a sell-off because we're definitely topping out here. They might be on lunch. I just remember when I was living up in Chicago, and every time I went out to lunch, everybody's like sitting along the brick walls on a sunny day, eating their McDonald's and whatnot. and then by the time you get back in the office and everybody's off lunch, it's rocking and rolling again. So yeah, it's like either it's topping off here, but I pay attention to those numbers. Just pay attention to those numbers, especially if you see them in your footprint. We got 660 here. You might see something a little different. We got 4 and some change here. Now we got 52. And also notice the delta, 294, 329, and now this is 376.
You know, and I'm looking at it from a perspective that the same momentum that we were talking about now is really forming should this bar close up. I don't have a lot of meat on the bone, but Ali, that's what I was talking about, the momentum. This is one of those, if you really got a hankering for longs, this would be the beginning of something because that green is building up. And I just say red and green because it's very easy for me to remember. But this would be a momentum from very few buyers. They just petering out, and I'm sorry, very few sellers. And now you are actually putting on the crumbs. And it's going to be an easy stop if it finishes over 1,000 in your delta, because if it doesn't get a follow through bar, you don't want to be in it anyway. So your stop would be a down bar.
Listen, Blue Horseshoe loves Blue Star Airlines. Got it?
Got it.
Right.
And I'm not looking for
Marty.
any long trades, so anything you guys see shoot up, I just let that bus go by. Bus is going the wrong way. I'm going south. Bus is going north.
Yeah, I just had to throw that out because we had talked about momentum going the wrong way at the time, and the numbers weren't right.
Yeah.
These numbers came out right, so that's one of those, don't think about it, jump on it if you have a hankering for longs. Remember, everything's limited, but I do expect at least to get one green bar out of that type of indication.
And we got a delta sweep on the 15R. We got a delta sweep. We actually went on the buy side. We actually went from right here. You got 448. Then you got 54, and then we went on that delta sweep. We got 1846 on the delta sweep. But I'm sitting on my hands. I used to take those trades. I'm gonna sit on my hands. I'm gonna let that bus go by. I'm going to the South Pole, not the North Pole.
You sound like Andrew Dice Clay when he says, "I'm not going to ask you for any money." That's how you started that.
How did that saying go? I'm gonna have to find that wave. I'm gonna have to find that wave. Yeah, Oli, I love it, man. It's just to play with it. Yeah. I gave it to Magic, and it something was wrong with his. I don't know why it won't work correctly on his or not. I
Probably
think
was magic.
I think it was his computer, but
No, I'm gonna say it was magic.
we'll get it working on his. But I'll put the website to where you can down. It's a free gadget. I'll put the website to where you can download it, and because it's all in German, and you got to translate it, which is right up your alley. Which is right up your alley. Oli.
Ollie.
Yeah, Ollie or Oli. Yeah, that's right up your alley. It's over there in the UK somewhere. I'll post the website so you can go get it. Yeah, we're pushing up now. We're definitely pushing up now. Yeah, but I would. It's what are we doing here? What are we doing here? I think the buyers are trying to get out with a little dignity. They're getting out with a little dignity. This is the pullback. They're getting out with a little dignity. And you look at this daily right here. That daily has came back halfway. I definitely don't think, and this is just my personal opinion, that we're going to end up in the green today as far as the Dow is concerned. So,
All right, folks, start getting the longs out.
get your calls in, get your call options in.
Yeah. I was talking about acceleration, and that was actually generating, for me, it was generating your sniper trade at 1154. I've got an up bar, yep, with a down delta.
You looking on the 12?
Looking on the 12R at 1154. I was calling a move up from acceleration, and it was actually, had I looked the bar earlier, because I've got all my alerts turned down for the broadcast, but had I seen this a bar earlier, it would have gotten me in even earlier to the same move. I don't know if I would have trusted it there, because I did want to ask you something.
He's talking about cum delta divergence. Go ahead, Magic.
Talking about cum delta divergence when it comes to that. I can see trading on a stem in the cum delta. But do you really see trading off of the stem or the hangman?
That's a hammer, man.
Or wait a minute, or the hammer. This one is a hammer. Yeah, we argue this all the time, folks. Don't worry. But either way, how you feel about trading the actual bar as a hangman or a hammer versus the stem one? Because I don't have a problem trading the stem, because I look at this, not trading the stem, but I don't have a problem trading the averages when it has a stem on the cum delta.
Right.
Because I look at that like a trend line, which is never perfect.
Right. Right.
Okay, but how do you look at it when you're looking at it from just the price action standpoint and you're getting that signal?
I like the stem. I like it. I have no problem with trading the stem. Also, we're going to look at the buy side for a second here, guys. Let's go to the buy side for a second. Look at these bid numbers. 34, 54, then the next bar goes down to 1. Then it goes to 0. So on the sell side, you're looking at the ask on the top. But on the bottom side, you're looking at the bid on the bottom left. And there is no sellers down there at all, or no aggressive sellers anyway, if that's the term I think I need to use.
Yeah, look at it as a lack of interest in that particular price point.
Yeah.
I think that got easier to me when I stopped looking inside the bars all the way through and concentrated more on the bottom bid and the top ask. And it,
Yes.
the bars started getting a little bit more clear to me as far as just understanding the footprint side of it.
Yes.
Because
Yes.
there's a lot inside the bars. You can have a lot of sequencing going on, thin print, zero print, what have you, but concentrates on the tops and the bottoms. And it makes it a little bit easier.
And then the delta went from minus 100 to plus 1235.
Hello.
Yeah. Yep, that's Magic's kind of thing right there.
That was the acceleration we were running across. Exactly.
So even though we got different numbers that we won't tolerate, different thresholds, use this as a template and set your own thresholds because trust me, somebody took that trade to the upside. Somebody took that trade. And notice this cum is coming back quite a bit. We're minus 20,000 now. That's supposed to be going off the close of that bar, man.
You're getting it on the open of the next bar and it's keying on it.
No, it's almost doing it on price change or not even the close of the bar. Because notice that that bar hasn't closed yet, and I got an alert on it. I kind of like that after the fact, not before the close. Oh, I got it updating on each tick. That's why. I'll correct that at the end of the day.
Nobody to know how slow your Pentium 3 run.
Hey man, hey man.
Let's see.
And we just created another 5-minute zone there also.
Now I'm starting to see a little bit of exhaustion. You can see on, even if you have a min max on your summary table, you can start to see that 2100 to the upside probably got overdone. My gosh.
Fly Guy says this market can make up its mind. I'm getting topping here. Follow the market, man. The market will make you humble. Follow the market. Don't fight it. Go with the flow. Go with the flow. If it wants to keep going up, just go with it. You'll start to see the differences in what's going on when it starts to top out.
Fly Guy, look at it from this perspective. Since you know what should be happening, be objective enough to say it ain't happening right now. That will probably save you just as much money, knowing what should happen versus what's happening in front of your face. It'll tell you, guaranteed. It will tell you on its own. Sounds like you're getting to the edge of your seat right now. Just put your seatbelt on. You'll be all right. See where we are here. Okay. Minus 26 to minus 758. That's a lot of pressure coming out of that. A lot of selling pressure up here
Listen,
on the pivots.
Blue
now.
Horseshoe loves Blue Star Airlines. Got it?
Got it.
Right.
I got
Party.
a secret weapon over there. I'm going to send your daughter over to Fly Guy's place and let her ask him what his secret is. Nice little story behind that. His daughter came over to ask Daddy to teach her how to trade. I was so proud of her. And the very first thing he taught her was something that she had to work at. He said, okay, I got that. But what's the secret? So I tease him all the time about, wanting to find that secret. But the way the market moved, as soon as you said you getting top in action, I'm going to send her over to your place and get her to ask you what the secret is.
And notice, guys, even though we got a down bar and the cum is red, even though the down bar and the cum is red, I can't do that trade. Why? Because it's above the moving average. It's above the moving average. So I won't mess with that trade. That's a cum divergence without the moving average. Everything is in place except the moving average. That's why I didn't get an alert on that. Another bus will be along. I'm trying to figure out how I got these bars to look big on this Valtos chart compared to my chart. I don't know how I did that. I do a lot of things by accident. I do a lot of things by accident because it's hard to get. I got these bars of a nice size. It has nothing to do with the alt. Oh, the alt does let me do it, but it won't let me do it. See, I can't do it on the TDU. TDU, you got to correct that. Can't do it on the TDU chart, but I can do it with the Valtos chart. Is that a TDU problem or is that did Valtos create that or is that a Maurice problem? Oh, I used to tell my mother all the time, Ma, it's the user. It's the user. She used to get pissed off at that. It's the user, Ma. Yeah, we're holding tight on this gap, on this zone.
We got zones on top of zones, sandwiched up. Somebody got to make a decision here. At least we got an initial off the top. So let's see what they do from here. See if they follow through with that.
That cum is so far away from that moving average that he wouldn't even think about that alert. Wouldn't even think about going off. And then you got, sitting up here looking at this, then we got a green bar with a red delta.
Yes. Last close.
But the cum delta is not in its favor. Cume Delta is minus 20,000. So according to my rules, I actually have it set up. Cume has to at least be on the other side of the zero. I'm not leaving money on the table, but I'll leave
Guys,
that. I'll leave that
just
for
pay
everybody
attention to the
else.
signal. Just pay attention to the signal. That's all. Just pay attention to the signal.
Yeah, because
My
some of you
man,
guys might want to take that trade.
absolutely. That's exactly where I'm going with that. You have to really remember the person talking to you and who's dispersing this information. He's looking for the unicorn. You might be looking for nice little Shetland ponies, and one bad pony out of 9 trades ain't bad. Okay, so he's looking for the unicorn. You may be looking for several good scalps. All depends on what your goals are.
Yeah, not bad. You'd have got a scalp out of that for sure. You'd have got a scalp out of that for sure.
I personally think I would have probably been still trying to see how far this one would go. Just curious, just curious.
And the lesson of that is not my rules, but by your rules. If you don't see what you want, sit on your hands. If you don't see what you want according to what you're looking for, when in doubt, stay out.
We do have a partner that he's looking for 4 to 6 ticks. This would be heaven for him.
Yeah, I need to call him too. I haven't talked to him in a while.
Yeah, this would be heaven for him. This would definitely be something he would have jumped on just for the momentum aspect of it and picking up FootPrint. Yeah, you do need to call him. But yeah, so your trading goals, your trading targets all have to do with a lot of this.
And I'm looking at a 15 range. This is a 12 range right here. Magic likes looking at a 12 range. And, you got people like looking at an 8 range, a 10 range. But like I said, it was just too much noise down there on the 8 and 10 range. And I adjusted to a 12 for a split second. I lost my mind. But Morgan brought me back to reality. Morgan got me to go back to the 15. I came back to my senses. I just like the 15 better. That's just the bottom line. I like looking at the 15 better. But, everybody has their own preference as to what type of chart. You can look at this on a 2,000 tick, a 3,000. You can look at this on tick charts. You can look at it on minute charts. Experiment around. Find what is comfortable for you. Find what is comfortable for you. Yeah, I deviated there for a minute, Morgan. I deviated to a 12, and I Magic will tell you, I was off. My rhythm was off. Everything was off. It's just not that easy to switch from one time frame to the other because the slightest change can change a whole bunch of stuff. I was way off. I was looking for numbers on a 15. I was looking for those numbers on a 12, and they were just totally different. Totally different. You go back and watch some of those early videos a couple weeks ago where I was pulling trades. I was trading off of a 12, and I was losing. And I thought I'm like, wait a minute, what did I do? I changed time frames. So when I came back to the 15, like my man said in one of his movies, he says, "Baby, I'm back." And I immediately saw the difference, and I saw what was going on. So changing time frames, changing commodities or futures, you're going from You might be used to looking at gold, or you might be used to looking at crude oil. You might be used to looking at the NASDAQ. And I'm going to tell you guys right now, there's a big difference between the delta numbers in the NASDAQ and the delta numbers in the E-mini. Pay attention, make the adjustments. And it might take you a while to make the adjustments. It might take you a while. And on that note, I think we're getting ready to sign off. It's 12:21. I want to set these alerts for the Valto software. Any last comments, Magic?
No, man, you did a good job today.
No,
Gave me time to do some
you
good
did
trading.
a good job, even though you held out on us with them trades, man. I appreciate that, man. Yeah,
I just wanted to concentrate on your sniper and acceleration when asked about it. I'm glad somebody did ask about acceleration. So
yeah,
that's the version we have, and feel free to modify it any way you want. I just like red and green.
exactly.
So yeah, guys, I have really enjoyed myself today. This is the last day for a while, unless we just get that itch in the morning.
Right.
But
Today is Thursday.
other than that,
yeah, we'll be back Monday or Tuesday. Now, if Monday, anytime you see big time cum delta like you saw today, it's a good chance we're going to be online. I'm basically playing it by ear because I know there's volatility when you see cum delta, and I think when the market opened up today, it was at like minus 17,000 or something like that. Let me go back to 9:30 this morning. Oh yeah, 9:30 this morning, we were rocking and rolling minus 23,000, minus 25,000. So, yeah, anytime you see a big cum delta, whether it's one way or the other, we're most likely will be online. All right, guys.